The story of Pathan begins in Rajasthan, where a young man is sent to deliver an important mission.
Ma'am, we have a red flag.
But along the way he falls in love with a village belle. The film explores the lives of people and their struggles to survive. The summary of Pathan movie is, Pathan is a story about a young man from India, who grows up in England. He returns to India and falls in love with a girl named Shakila. The story about a young man from India, who grows up in England. He returns to India and falls in love with a girl named Shakila, who happens to be his mother's friend. The Pathan story is an epic one of love, adventure, and politics in India. The film tells the story of two people who come from completely different backgrounds but are drawn together by a passion for music.
உன்னோட பாரத மாதாவுக்கு என்னோட கடைசி சலாம சொல்லிடு.
तो उसने अपने देश को ही अपना धर्म मान लिया और देश की रक्षा को ही अपना कर्म.
The story follows the young man, who comes from a big city and moves to a small town in India to work with his uncle. He had never met his father but knew he would want him to be a good person. Your life is your own business, and you should do what you want to do with your life, whether it is serving others or being a spiritual person who lives off his real power that comes from within. Pathan movie is about the story of a middle-class Pathan family, who lives in a village. Their lives are constantly under threat from organized crime and terrorism, but somehow they grow together as a family to overcome this crisis. Pathan is the story of two unconnected families who are forced to get together by a devastating tragedy, who end up as unlikely allies and complete strangers in the face of terrorism. Pathan is a romantic movie is based on the story of a young girl named Shobha and her search for an ideal man who could save her life. The movie has a cast of major actors such as Amir Khan, Alia Bhatt and Randeep Hooda. Pathan has successfully created a lot of curiosity among its audience by bringing out various good points in a multi-layered story where almost all characters have their own good and bad sides to them just like real life, making it more interesting to watch. Pathan is a light-hearted story about 3 generations of women, their hopes and dreams, the joys and stresses of life in Kashmir. Pathan movie is a story of 3 brothers and their family. The Pathan was a wealthy Muslim family from Punjab that migrated to the United States. They had a huge impact on American society and culture, but didn't appear in any mainstream media until their first movie was released. The film traces the efforts of the family to reform their children and grandchildren throughout their lives. Set in present-day India, Pathan is a coming-of-age story of a young boy named Ismail who goes on a journey to find his identity and make sense of the world around him. He meets his father, who had disappeared years ago when the family was very poor, who reveals that he has been wrongly implicated for a murder. After doing some digging, Ismail discovers that the real culprits are much closer to home than he ever imagined, and his entire family comes in harm's way with it. An arid and rugged landscape, sun-baked plains, endless desert, and a culture that has known injustice and suffering lies at the heart of an epic story that has been told through centuries of war. The story of Pathan is a vivid portrayal of the arduous journey of a family that lives within the Indian hills. The movie portrays man against nature, where love and compassion soar in their face along with greed, lust, and jealousy. Pathan movie is a drama. Pathan, Hindu boy is a student of physics in engineering college where he meets the girl by chance with whom he falls in love. However, they don't get to date because their parents want them married to each other, but then their parents are not happy with their engagement, so they try to break up this relationship, which fails, but it gives them courage to go on with their life without seeing each other. Pathan is a story which revolves around the lives of 2 brothers. The elder brother Ganga, Manoj Kumar, lives with his wife, son, and daughter in Delhi, while the younger one Ajay, Jackie Shroff, who hails from Kashmir, comes to settle down in Delhi along with his family. Both have dreams, aspirations and goals in their lives, but unfortunately due to circumstances beyond their control, they find themselves at odds when their paths cross once again some 20 years later. Pathan movie plot. A story of a man named Arjun, who has a daughter named Bhairavi. Bhairavi is married to a NRI but has to live with her father, as she cannot get work due to her disability. Arjun and Bhairavi are looking for someone who could help them financially so that they could live comfortably without any financial problems in their life. They approached many people but none of them were interested at all. The story of the movie revolves around Pathan, who dreams big and achieves his dream in the city. In this movie, Aryan Khan is a Pathan who moves to America and gets into trouble, but then meets up with the love of his life named Nandini. The story continues with the usual conflict between Aryan and his brother, and ends with a happy ending. The story of Pathan is about a man who was born in a tribe as a Pathan, and his journey that took him through life's ups and downs. From the wastelands of Kashmir to the forests of Kerala, from India to England, United States, Canada and other places in the world. The film tells how this smart young man grows up to be an entrepreneur who takes care not only of his family but also all those around him, like his employees and customers. The Pathan is a 2010 Indian film directed by Sanjay Gupta. It is a Hindi-language film that stars Naseeruddin Shah, Jackie Shroff and Banashali Raj in lead roles. The movie tells the story of a taxi driver who disguises himself as a carpet trader to get rid of his criminal brother, then must deal with the effect on his life when he becomes known as an honest man. A Pathan movie has been released in 1990. It is a romantic action film and it was directed by Ram Gopal Verma. The story of the film revolves around the love of a girl for her father and her attempt to free herself from the grip of her mother-in-law, who wants a son-in-law for herself. The story of Pathan is a political drama, where the villain, played by Amitabh Bachchan, hijacks the plane in which a politician and his entourage are traveling. BBB. A poverty-stricken Hindu man falls in love with a Muslim woman. Their romance is short-lived, however, as the couple soon find themselves on opposite sides of the community. This drama traces their relationship over some 25 years and demonstrates the impact religious differences can have on the people involved. This is the story of a young man named Arjun, who comes from a village in Uttar Pradesh. He has a dream to become a wrestler and wants to travel to Mumbai with his friends so that he can pursue it. But due to lack of money or any other support, Arjun fails to accomplish his goal by selling off all of his possessions, for which he lives with his sister Kamini. When she gets married in the town of Mahadesa and moves away from their home, Arjun manages somehow to support himself through odd jobs such as working as a security guard at night and washing cars during the day. Pathan is a movie about the life of a Pathan. It's a true story based on the life of Abdul Haq Khan, a Pakistani soldier who fought against the British Empire in the Dakota Territory in 1885. Pathan is a film based on the life of the Pathan warriors. The story revolves around one such group, who fight for Pakistan. It tells how an ordinary child from a middle-class family becomes a soldier, and how his commitment changes him forever. Pathan movie is based on the concept of vengeance.